like on these wholesales where you said you're buying 20 to 30 homes a month and then wholesaling them. So you're buying them on contract and then and then you're selling it to the end buyer.
Mhm.
And are you doing typically like double closes in a day, that type of thing?
Yeah, a lot of them are double closes and assignments. So I know Illinois is different. The laws are different. You know, you have to be an agent to wholesale more than one a year, whatever that is. It's not like that in St. Louis right now or anytime soon, even though we do have agents on staff and a brokerage here that we work with. But yeah, in general, we are double closing or assigning them over to people either in the office or other people. And, you know, making, for those that don't know wholesaling, you're just connecting a distressed property to an investor. It's kind of like an agent, but you're doing it on the investing side kind of thing, and you get a fee for doing it. So yeah, we do quite a few of those, and sometimes we double close, sometimes we'll assign. We're luckily able to, you know, close on something if we have to take it down, which kind of differentiates ourselves from a lot of other wholesalers.
Gotcha. Dylan, you got any questions for Sam?
No, not off the top of my head. Although it's because my wheels are turning. You know, Sam, I guess as my wheels are turning. So let me kind of formulate the question. And staying in the midterm rental space, do you think that are we going to see kind of a migration of the conversation into that space over the next 12 to 18 months? And what I mean by that is there was a lot of conversation where rates were low about hacking houses. Then as the market was still shifting a little bit, we got into a lot of BRRRR conversation, right, in the public domain, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we're hearing a lot about this midterm rental in the public domain. And do you think that's going to change? Do you think it's going to kind of stay hidden for a while?
I think it's going to change because people like me are going to talk about it. And part of the reason that I'm able to somehow I've 2.8 million followers on social media, and I'm not like buttoned up and I mumble and I slur and I talk too fast, but because I really give good quality information because I'm actually doing it. I'm not talking about something I used to do. I'm talking about something I'm doing. And I'm an investor that talks about it on social media. I'm not a social media person that talks about investing, right? So there's a big difference. And so I do think it's going to really catch fire here in the next 6 to 12 months and beyond. And just like short-term rentals, it just grew. I remember hearing about short-term rentals heavily in 17 and 18. And then by 2019, I'm like, am I too late to this space? And then that got super saturated, especially after COVID. So I think it's going to be super, in the face of everybody, maybe not quite like the BRRRRs, but pretty close to that in the next 12 to 18 months. And I could be wrong. And Larry, you did mention earlier, that's a question I missed was, is there any people besides traveling nurses that need midterm rentals? And yes, I mean, a huge portion of what the space is, the majority of it is traveling nurses. Again, I looked at all the stats up, 1.8 million traveling nurses in the US right now. And some people say that's going to continue to grow as hospitals are willing to pay somebody to come in town that's better than the people they have because of the shortage of nurses. So there's going to be more of a premium. But then, so there is traveling nurses and there's not enough of them. So just that's enough to support it, in my opinion. But we have rented, and I know a lot of people in the space that have rented, corporate leases. They have somebody coming in town with a family, and that person, they hired them from another company, or they got transferred from another division in their company, and they need to live somewhere for 2 or 3 months while they find a house to buy. They want to get there, but they don't have somewhere to live, and they're not going to put up somebody in a hotel for 2 to 3 months with their dog and their 2 kids and their wife or their husband, right? So that's a huge part of it. And then digital nomads are huge. I am like older millennial, but a lot of the millennials and the younger generation, they work virtually, and they want to live in Austin for 3 months, and then they want to live in Chicago for 3 months,
and then they want to go to Mexico,
and they do that, and they want to do that, and they will continue to do that, and technology will make that easier for them to still perform at their job and do that. So traveling nurses, I think, is always going to be the foundation of it, but I do see some of these other things kind of starting to fill in the demand even more when the supply still has to catch up.
Yeah. You see a lot of them on TikTok. Sam has 1.9 million followers on TikTok, and I'm on there a lot because, I like a lot of the funny stuff on there. I love your stuff, but basically I'm watching dogs and cats piss each other off. So, but you see a lot of these, like you said, nomads that are the younger folks that are going around living in Mexico for 3 months. then coming back to the States, then going here. And that's a huge market, I think. And I think that's only going to get bigger because the economy has changed completely since the pandemic. It's a different economy now. We're living in a gig economy.